and welcome to another edition of the Burrow podcast. My name is Lucca, and I'm joined here alongside Zane, Ruben, and Cody. On today's episode, we'll be discussing our upcoming Magic Round match, some changes in our side, as well as some announcements that we have to make. So, without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. So, so we can start off with our upcoming match on Saturday, 3 o'clock, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Against the Knights.
Yes, that's right.
So, up at Suncorp. So, are any of you guys going to head up to the game?
Fortunately not. Unfortunately lost. But I'm making it my goal next year. I'll be at Magic Round next year. That's my goal.
What about yourself?
No other travel plans though.
Yep, I'll be heading up to Magic Round this year. Third time in a row for the last 3 years. I'll be heading up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm sure it will be. And what about yourself, Ruben? Will you be heading up to Magic Round?
Yeah, I'm heading up this year. First time ever heading to Magic Round in my whole life. I've never been, so I'm very excited. I decided this year this is going to be the year I'm going. See us play Newcastle. We might have good odds, so I'm going to this one.
Hopefully, yeah. Cody, what do you reckon you're going to get up to while you're there, and what days are you heading up there and heading back?
So I'm going the same thing I did last year, heading up on the Thursday. No, it's a day early, but once I've checked in and stuff, I can relax and just focus on everything, what's going to happen, and plan out the whole weekend, including going to all 8 games, which is going to be nuts. Go through 3 games throughout 2 of the days, and I fly back on the Monday. Very early in the morning, I might add.
Nice, yeah, that'd be a good trip. What about yourself, Ruben? What days are you going to head up, and what do you reckon you'll get up to while you're over there?
Me and the 2 people I'm going with, we are planning on going up on Friday morning. We're driving up. It's a long drive all the way up there. We're staying on the Sunshine Coast. And we won't be making the Friday night games, but we will be going to both the Saturday and Sunday games. But during the day, we'll just hang around surface and whatnot, and doing whatever we can before we head up to Brisbane. It's too expensive. It was too expensive to stay in Brisbane for the nights. I thought.
Oh yeah, it would be this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of the accommodation I was looking
up there.
There was backpackers that were 1,600 for the 3 days, and I'm like, man, I'm not for 1,600 to. You get one room. I was like, sure, it's not that far from the stadium, but I was like, that's a lot of money. I don't have that amount of money to blow, man.
You got to get in early with Magic Round, or try and get in the day.
And you don't want to get you'll be mixed in with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so our team list was released earlier. Couple of changes, we got Jai Gray back to fullback with Latrell suspended after the tackle from onto Faulunga, was it, last week in Melbourne?
Yeah. Yep.
And we've got Whiten and Sullivan in the halves. So we can start with yourself, Zane, if you like. What do you make of the decision and the changes in the team?
Well, the fullback change I like. I just think Jai Gray's by far been the Rabbitohs' best player every single week this season. So I'm definitely very happy with that one. But the halves was a very interesting one because all the news reports are saying that Lewis Dodd was finally going to be in that starting team. Every report I said was saying Dodd was going to be there. And then I read the side, it's Wyden and Sullivan, which is a very interesting choice. Wyden at 6 I'm not against because, he's a Dally M medalist 6, a couple of years ago. So he's got experience there. But Jaden Sullivan I don't see as a halfback. I see him as more of a 6, like a running sort of player. But it seems like what I would have done, I would have had Sullivan at 14, Dodd at 7. I don't know why Dodd's not there, if he's injured or if he's just not getting chosen in the side. I don't know what it is, but I was just very taken back by it. I was expecting Dodd to be there, but it seems like Bennett has really backed Sullivan this season. He's got a lot of belief in him because the only game he's missed so far was the game when he was out suspended on Good Friday. It seems like Wayne Bennett must see a lot of potential in Jaden Sullivan over the past few years when he was at the Dragons and the Tigers because he brought him over to South pretty quickly and he hasn't got rid of him from the side just as of yet. So, we'll have to see how it goes. But I was very, very surprised by those decisions, especially not seeing Lewis Dodd in there.
Yeah, I just had a look and Lewis Dodd's playing reserve grade, so it's obviously just a decision by Wayne to, not play him, I guess. But obviously there's a reason why. So, what about yourself, Cody? What do you make of the changes in the team?
Yeah, well, it was expected for Jai to be back at fullback because I don't really see anyone Whiten's played a fullback before, but I don't think he was going to be the choice going there. Jack Whiten in the halves, I was actually pretty surprised to see, but we know he's played 6 over his time at Canberra, and I think that's well deserved spot. And he's also the captain for this week as well, after Latrell got suspended. Jaden Sullivan, I would have put Lewis Dodd in there, but he's in the reserves. He could be a late inclusion, but I don't think so, but we'll have to see. Lachlan Hubner is also returns. He's on the bench.
I was going to bring that one up as well.
And
I like the bench, but the thing I find strange is Fletcher Myers on the bench. Like, why do we have a winger there? Like, I would have just had Dodd at 7 and Sullivan back at 14. I don't know why we've gone with Fletcher Myers.
We also have Fletcher Myers on the bench for some reason, which I don't see him being used. That's a strange one.
Weird decision, though. But the thing I also like is that they're keeping Jairo at lock. I saw people very critical about that last week when he was named at lock, but I prefer Jairo down the middle than I do on the edge. I just think he offers so much aggression and grunt, which is something that South really need in their forward pack. So I'm really all for Jairo playing lock. I really like him there. I don't know how the rest of you guys feel about that, though, because I know a lot of South fans online were pretty sceptical about that decision.
Yeah, look, I don't mind it. I can't agree with you there, Zane. I don't know, like, it's iffy, he played all right, look, so why not give him another go, I guess, Not going to hurt, I
and
guess.
Bailey Bentley-Haight remains on the wing as well, who the Storm absolutely targeted on Friday night, which they, as a rookie, especially going down to Melbourne, he probably expected that, but, he's only going to get better the more games he gets, so keep him in there for now, but, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's about it with the changes, isn't it?
Yeah, what about you, Ruben? What did you make of the various changes?
I believe Wayne Bennett has chosen the correct players, but I feel like a lot of players, in my opinion, are out of position. And I personally feel like Ewan Aitken was way too good at second row to put him back at centre.
That's the other one.
I would have had Tallis on the bench and get rid of Fletcher Myers. Sorry, Fletcher. Very sorry about that, but after his performance, I feel like he deserves that bench spot still. Tallis, he played brilliant in Melbourne. And I feel like Ewan Aitken goes back to second row. You put Jack Whiten back into the centres, move Sullivan to 6, put Lewis Dodd at 7.
That's what I would have done as well. Totally agree.
Besides that, everything else is perfect, I feel like. Jai is a brilliant, aggressive player right down the middle that we need, and he can come off for a break for Hubner, and Hubner brings the exact same intensity that Jai Arrow brings to the game. Having Tallis and Malali on the bench as the backup forwards, and everyone else then would be in position, I feel like, for the perfect Storm. Like, I feel like it'd be great.
Yeah, I think the most confusing thing is with this side is why Dodd isn't there and why Fletcher Myers is on the bench, because it's just, I don't know why we have a winger on the bench. I remember Bennett did this a couple of years ago. I think it was 2020 when he had a couple of games with Alex Johnston on the bench as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear that happened at some point. It was just a very, I don't know what his plans are with him there, but I guess perhaps there's someone carrying an injury in the back line and Myers might have to come on. That might be the case.
Well, when Sullivan was playing 14, he was usually coming on around half-time at centre. So unless that's what Bennett's doing, and he's having Fletcher Myers be ready to come on at half-time at centre and play a centre position, and maybe even doing that, he'll move Ewan Aitken to the bench, give him a 20-minute breather, then put him back on at second row and give Tallis the last one. That could be the big plan there. Ewan Aitken did so well, put him in the centres, let him run aggro there for a bit, give him a break after half-time, and then let him go out in second row and run aggro there as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility of something that could happen. Yeah, do we have any players returning in the next few weeks? I know we got Humphreys injured. Do we know when he's coming back? Or
I think Humphreys was 4 weeks when I read, so he potentially could be back next week. And Alex Johnston, he's been in and out all year. I think he's due back. What about Munro? When's he supposed to return?
He's returned for another 6 weeks. His injury got set back again.
no?
Yikes.
Right, and what about Ravalawa?
I haven't heard much about that.
Yeah. Who else are we missing at the moment?
Last I heard about Ravalawa was it was a 5 to 7 week injury. So that was a couple of weeks ago now. That was when it happened, so...
And Cody Walker is expected to be back for the Warriors game, which is round 13, right after our first bye.
Yeah, right, okay, so... He's a big loss. He was a big loss on Friday night, I can tell you that much. We could have really used his creativity on that, especially in those dying moments.
I think we rushed him back too quickly.
Yeah, I think we did as well. It wasn't worth playing him on Good Friday, was it?
Exactly.
Might I ask, while we're still on the subject, what has happened to Saliva Havili? I haven't
He's
seen
in the
any
team,
reports.
isn't
No,
Yes.
he's not. He's not in reserves.
I mean,
either.
Sure is.
He's not on the reserves,
He
and
must be
he's
injured as well. Then. I swear I saw him in the side today on the
Not
bench.
in the starting lineup, not on the reserves, not on the bench. I was looking, I'm like, where is he? I haven't heard anything. He's suspended. I haven't heard.
Yeah, he must
he's
be. He must be injured then if he's not in reserves either.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I looked on the casualty ward. I didn't see anything, but maybe it's a late injury that they just haven't told anyone about. But that makes me a bit worried because I was
I'd
I was
say
loving the
it's injured if
Havili
he's not
train.
listed anyway.
I was
mean,
loving the Havili train at the time.
I mean, I saw the whole team at the airport back in Melbourne, and I spoke with Harvey, and he didn't say anything about an injury, so maybe he just picked it up on the way back, possibly.
Who knows?
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I swear I saw him in the side, but no, it turns out he's not there.
We've got Shaq returning for reserve grade 2. It'd be good to see him back.
He's the other one.
always
Where's
good addition.
Jack.
he's back in reserve grade? Is he?
He is, yeah, on the bench. I'm just checking out the team list.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him
Beautiful to see.
come back.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's always great addition to the side.
Yes.
Works very hard.
In terms of the game, obviously it's a must-win game. You know, it's the same scenario for the Knights. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak. We're on a 3-game losing streak. I know for a fact this will probably be the game that the Knights finally do show up because that's just the way it goes with South. We always play sides at the wrong time. But if I'm giving a prediction for this game, I think if South show up with the same attitude and intensity that they had against the Storm last week, they probably should be able to get over this Knights team. Because I do think if South play the vast majority of other teams, not the top sides, they probably do win that game last week.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one, yeah.
Like, if I was to give a margin, I'd say I'd go South by about 10.
Yeah, something like that.
And I'd say a reasonably low scoring one, like 18-8, something like that. But we need a big win soon because our for and against isn't very good at the moment, and that could cost us. So we need a very, very big win to come up soon.
100%, yeah. We don't want our for and against to keep dropping, like that'll ruin our chances of making the 8, so yeah. So the Burrow podcast, we have a new series dropping this week, where you guys get to know our members. So you get to know me, Zane, Cody, Ruben, and CJ. And one of the guys from the Burrow, Josh, interviewed the one and only Cody on the trip in Melbourne. So I'm going to hand over to Cody now, and you can tell us a bit about, what you got interviewed about and just about everything in general to do with that sort of series coming out. So yeah, I'll hand over to you now.
Yep, so we started a brand new series as part of the Burrow podcast. But in general, it's just discussing what's going to happen during the game and discuss what had happened in the game as well. We discuss every single drive, most plays, and all that good stuff. But just on our overall thoughts on each game, which I had a lot of fun doing with Josh this past week down in Melbourne. It was a lot of fun and definitely a different thing compared to what we usually do. But I will say it was a lot of fun to do with Josh.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been, and yeah, within the next couple of weeks, you get to see all of our faces being interviewed, so get to know a bit more about us, and yeah, it should be good. What do you guys think of the idea? The rest of you guys, Zane and Ruben, do you think it's a good idea? Or
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because it gives some of the viewers a bit more in-depth view of who we actually are and what we do and how we got into the Rabbitohs. So I think it's a great idea. Yeah,
for sure. What do you reckon, Ruben? Do you reckon it's a good idea?
I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think I'm not 100% sure, but is it going out to other members, not just us? It's going out to not every, but some of the members that are in the borough. Will they also get interviewed as well? Other members?
I don't think so for now, at least. I think it's just us as the podcast people, but that's something that could happen in the future. Yeah.
I'd like to see that happen because there are a good amount of people in the borough that go to a lot of games every year. and show their support to the club and sing all the songs we have and whatnot and really get into it. We are just obviously a small group of what the borough truly is, but it's good that we get to do it. But I would love to see it also expand out and have a lot more people do it as well. That'd be brilliant, I think. Besides that,
I don't want to have the actual numbers of how many borough members there actually are, from the club, how many people were a borough membership this year.
I'm not too sure. I'd be a couple thousand.
That number is.
It'd be a couple thousand.
Yeah.
Because
what you reckon, borough members?
Yeah, because there's 30,000 members, just about.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you buy a borough membership, it's for sitting in the borough. I'd say, I don't know, but I'd be curious to see what that number is because, thinking about it, I'm like, how many people would actually have that?
Yeah, you can't forget about people down the bottom too. You got us behind the banner.
Yes.
But you got the ones below
right,
too.
It's not just the core group. There's that whole bay is pretty much memberships. So and I think some of the, correct me if I'm wrong, gold and platinum members can sit in the borough if they choose.
Can they?
I'm pretty sure I've read that once. I might be incorrect there, but I'm pretty sure I've seen somewhere that if you have a gold membership, you can sit the borough if you choose. I might be wrong. I can't really find. I swear I read it once when I was looking at buying the memberships.
I know if you have the Club 1908 one, the $2,000 one, you can.
Yeah, maybe that's the one I was thinking of.
But that's right.
Okay.
Well, to answer that platinum one, I am now officially a platinum member with the borough membership, but I don't know if it will work with the other memberships that are part of with the members.
Yeah, okay. That's where I remember seeing it somewhere once. Maybe it was the 1908 one.
That's right. Yeah.
What happens with Diamond members? Would they also get access to the borough as well, for that too?
I'll try and have a look here. Actually,
are you talking about Diamond as in Diamond when you buy a membership, or Diamond after a couple of years, loyalty sort of thing?
Because it goes 5 years bronze, 10 years silver, 15 years gold, 20 platinum, and then 25.
Oh no, I'm a gold member. Sorry, not platinum.
I'm still stuck on bronze.
You're gold. Or is it? Yeah, it's something like that. Because I know I'm coming up on my diamond one this year. I know I'm coming up on that. It just had me think. I was like, what happens there?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you would, obviously. I reckon.
Oh yeah, if you buy a borough membership, you go in the borough. It doesn't matter what.
If you buy a membership, come to the borough. Yeah.
Any luck,
Zane? Not yet.
No, I'm still trying.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I think we should just move on if I find anything about it.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I've got a couple of announcements to make on behalf of the borough. So we've got some more scarves on sale. Sorry, I'm sure you've heard a bit about them. They're borough scarves. On one side, you got South and Until I Die. I'm not sure if Cody has his to show to the camera, but one side you got South and Until I Die, I believe. Oh no, sorry, you got I don't know, but
March into 22.
That's it.
But yeah, I've got it inside.
Yeah, and then
I was considering wearing it anyway. I thought the jumper would be enough.
Yeah, and the other side you got the borough. So yeah, we've still got them for sale at the game. $30. We'll have them our next home game. So that'll be Broncos. Am I right?
Well, technically it's a home game this week, but we're at a neutral game.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're interested, come and see Josh Kemp. Yeah, and he'll sort you out. So they take cards. Cody's got his there. Marching to 22.
Marching to 22. And the borough.
Especially, I think we're going to see a lot more people bringing them to games now. I know I will, especially with the colder months coming up.
Yeah, I will mind.
It's been very hot at our last few games, so I just haven't got to bring it. But when the colder months come, I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more people bring them to games, which will be a cool sight to see everyone holding them up.
100%, yeah. I wore mine the first time to Melbourne the other day. It was pretty cold up there, so it's nice to keep you warm.
At least it wasn't as hot over in bloody Perth.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah, and some other more announcements. So head to a couple of weeks. Tigers game in Campbelltown. We'll be doing a pre-game meetup, same as last year, in collaboration with the Ambush. So that's with some of the Tigers supporters at the beer shed in Lumia. So like I said, this is the same as sort of what we did last year. Times and all that will sort of come out later, but just wanted to sort of give you guys a brief sort of, tell you guys that is actually happening.
That's round 11, isn't it? Then we got the bye, round 12.
Yeah, it's in
It's
2
the
weeks.
bye 11 and
Sunday night.
Yeah, okay, so yeah.
Yeah, and for that game, we'll be in Bay 24, the away supporters bay. So I think last year we were on like the 40 metre. I think last year we were on like the 30-40 metre line or something.
Yeah, we're on Bay 21.
Yeah, okay. It's probably stuck in the corner. They always do that with the away bay. They chuck you in the corner.
I actually didn't mind Campbelltown last time I went there. Like, I've heard a lot of bad things about it, but I actually didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah,
What bay did you say it was?
24.
24 is, it's...
That's just beside it. That's just
It's
beside
not the
the
corner, it's about, probably
Of course.
10-20 metre line on the southern end.
Oh, okay.
It's alright. At least you're kind of along the line of along the side of the footy field.
Yeah, get a good view in the corner when they score a try.
Yeah, I was gonna say, compared to some games, I've been positioned right in the corner, freaking up the back, and you're like, this is great. I have to get binoculars out soon.
At the Win Stadium game. You're like
man.
Stadium where you couldn't even see over the fence.
I wanted to go down to the bloody
In line with we were behind the dead ball line, actually, really low to the ground.
Was this for
No screen, like you had to look around the corner to even see the screen in the heat. Oh gosh, I don't want to think about that.
That was horrible.
The worst away experience I've had, that one.
At least we got the win, hey? Like,
yeah, the win saved it in the end. When we'd gone flogged in that game, that would have been atrocious looking back on that.
Yeah. And for Magic Round, we're in Bay 331, so I'd say it's most likely sold out, but
it is sold out.
Behind the goalpost, that.
Is it? Yeah.
We're actually on one. We're on one of the sides. We are beyond the post, but we're on the left side when you enter the ground.
Okay. So yeah, look out for Cody if you need to find your bay. I'm sure you'll see him there. And yeah, so
I'll be down close. I'll be down right near the line. Hopefully, you get caught on camera.
Hopefully, yeah. You're always standing up, cheering loud and proud, so that's good.
Yep. Well, if you see me for Friday night, I'll be in the Dolphins Bay. For obvious reasons.
Yeah, so that just about wraps us up for today's episode of the Burrow podcast. So, any last words, guys, before we end it?
Yeah, well, I'll have to say, I hope we get it done. We can't lose 4 straight. This is a must-win game at this point. And I'm hoping for a big win because we really need to get our for and against back in shape. So, see how it goes. I'm sure the Knights will be up for it, but I'm hoping we get a big win down here.
If there's a game for 13 plus, this is the one. Because we usually have a good record against Newcastle, but we've lost our last 2 against them.
Sure.
Not over the last few years, yeah.
Don't remind me of that Newcastle game. The one in Newcastle.
Yeah, forget 20.
Yeah, that was the...
Yeah, that
even the one last year was terrible as well.
Yeah.
That game a couple of years ago.
That was the back end of the year when it was all about over anyway, so...
Yeah.
We used to I remember it was like a couple of years ago, I think, probably more like 10 years ago now, we beat Newcastle like 48-6, and then I think the year before we beat them like 52-4 or something. Like, we have a really dominant record against them, but we can get that record back in shape this season.
Hopefully, yes. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That would be good. Alright, well, look forward to Saturday. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Go the Rabbits.
Up the Rabbits.
South Sydney!